Hi, welcome to Sheepish, episode 42. Today is Sunday, July 13th, 2014, and I'm Holly. So it's been a little while since I've recorded. I hope you guys have had a great few weeks. They've been busy for me. The last couple of days have been pretty crappy. Yeah. I'm going to apologize right now because it looks like that thing that my camera was doing last week in the freezing and starting again seems like it's happening again this week. So there might be some creative editing again. But yeah, so it's been a couple of weeks. Normally I would do the drawing for the June socks thread, but since it is mid-month, I'm going to put that off. Again, podcaster prerogative. So I'm going to turn the June thread into a June-July thread. Looks like some people have already posted there for July, which is fine. Thank you guys for just going ahead and doing that. And you guys should, if you want to start a thread, feel free. I'm happy to have that. But I'm just going to go ahead and leave this thread as is. I'll change it to June-July once I get done. So yeah. There is that. It looks like with the summer knitting craft along, it looks like we've got some great things happening. Last time I checked the thread, there were 9 people who had posted FOs, and a ton of them. Oh my goodness. You guys are some creative people. We've got food represented. We've got sewing. We've got all sorts of crafting. So it makes me really happy to see that. I'm very excited to see what you guys have. If you haven't entered, please do. There are 2 sticky threads. One is the chat thread and the other is the FO thread. And that's a no chatter thread. But please do. I want to see what you're working on this summer or winter as the case may be. So yeah, awesome. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started with the current roster. Oh, where do I want to start? I'm going to lean out of frame here a little bit and pull out my Piddle Loop Owls bag because that has, wait for it, let me find the other needle so I don't drop anything. Yes, this is the Springtime Bandit that I was working on. It's grown. It's still on the needles. Yeah. It's still on the needles because I haven't been able to reconcile myself to this. This is all I've got. Yeah, I went ahead and I posted on Instagram when I got down to the last 2 colors. It was like, should I rip back? Or maybe it was like the last 3 colors. I don't know. But I was like, I know I'm going to go at least one more repeat than is called for, than most people have used for fingering weight yarns. I wanted to do 2. I wanted to make it a bigger shawl. I have a Springtime Bandit. It's really, really small. Done in fingering weight, I should say. So I went 2 extra repeats, so most people have been doing 7 repeats. I did 9. Knowing that that was going to, I knew that I was going to run out. So this is the last color. It's been joined in. It's working. I haven't really had any problems with the pattern up until this point. I'm starting to make stupid mistakes, or I started to make stupid mistakes. So I put it down. And I wound the yarn, the saving yarn. So before I go forward, that is by Fiber Optic Yarns. It's a Paint Box Gradient, and it's a merino nylon blend, and it's in the Bitter Lime to Rose Gradient. Yeah, and it's about 450 yards. Yeah, remember last time I recorded, I couldn't find this? That's because it was on the floor by my feet, because I dropped it. But what's going to save me and of course I can't find the label, it's here somewhere, is this. So it's kind of like it's that next progression. I got really lucky. So this I got at Fiberspace. And this is a skein of hedgehog fibers. I don't remember the name of the base, but it is their 90-10 blend. So it's a 90 superwash 10 nylon. It's super soft. And it's in the poison colorway. So this is going to save my butt on that once I get back to that. Yeah, when I was working my way through the last chart on this, I was realizing that I was making a lot of stupid mistakes. I wasn't reading, or I was assuming, and I had to think back, or I'd drop down, and I finally kind of said, I'm putting it away, and I haven't picked it up since, because that was like a week and a half ago. Yeah. But I need to get back to that. It's really close to being finished. It's going to be beautiful when it is finished. It really is. I just need to do it. It's, yeah. Mistakes are making me mad at myself. So that being said, we've got in my Calf Kidston bag come on, well, there we go. So it's the beginning of a sock. It's the beginning of the Collywobble sock. And you might be saying, hey, Holly, I don't follow you on Instagram. Why is there only a cuff right there? Why are you at the beginning? Because of this. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw this last night right before I started kitchenering. This is the Collywobble sock pattern by Emily Estrada, who is the hostess of the Fibertown podcast, Fiber with an R-E. And this is done out of Highland Handmaid's Sugar Maple Sock in the If She Be But Little colorway, I'm pretty sure. And this it's got a heel flap and a gusset on the bottom. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. Yeah. See how it's kind of got this thing going on down here? Yeah. Oops. All in all, once I started knitting and just kind of got back to the pattern, I'm not going to point out where the mistake is in these socks because I made sure that I didn't make it again. I will not be making the same mistake on the next pair or on the next sock. But yeah, a few things. I like the idea of the bottom gusset. I don't know that it makes any real difference in how it fits to me. Mrs. Shu from the In a Snit podcast, when I had taken a picture of this as it was getting done, and I had my stitch markers on there, she was saying that it fits her heel and her arch better. I hadn't really noticed a difference in that. Again, I've only tried them on. I mean, they're snug. That's nice. So we'll see. This is a slip stitch heel flap, and I'm not real fond of it. I mean, I like the slip stitch heel flaps, but there's something about me and where you're, like, I do my slip stitch heel flaps, slip one, knit one, slip one, knit one, and then purl back across. A lot of people lately have been doing the knit across and then slip one, purl one all the way across. But for some reason, that screws up my row gauge. And this is a much shorter heel flap than I normally would knit. And this is the exact same number of repeats of this. So of those two rows, I usually do 14 repeats, which, 28 total rows. But it's much shorter than it usually is. I'm going to do the heel flap the way that I know works for me. I almost ripped back and did my regular slip stitch heel flap, but hi, I'm lazy. So I'll have 2 socks with 2 different heel flaps. Not everybody has that issue. I do. But yeah, so one is done. Very happy with the one. I will be working on the second one. These are my June socks in my 12 months O sock. I will also need to go through my stash and find a pair, or find sock yarn for July socks, which will be knit in August probably. But just to have some, they're going to be a plain vanilla sock. I know this. I think I know which one I'm going to do because it's going to be all Doctor Who nerdy. But yeah, I'll show those when I actually wind the yarn and get them cast on. One thing that I've noticed about this pattern, and I don't know if it's the pattern, it's the yarn, or if it's the needles. And it would upset me if it was the needles, because I love these needles and I've used them on socks before. But I can't work on the pattern. I can't work on the sock for very long. My hands really start to cramp up, and I don't know why. I haven't had this problem when it comes to knitting. I get that problem when it comes to Kitchenering. And if I could send all of my Kitchenering off to somebody and work out a trade, I would. But yeah, so there's that. They got done. That last one got done last night, late last night. I took a picture of it when it was 2 rows away from me actually Kitchenering the stitches together. And yeah, and I woke up to a lot of likes on that, so thank you guys. Yeah, nothing to add to the alumni roster. One day, I'm going to have one of those finished, and I can add them to the alumni roster, and there will be much rejoicing. Yay! So yeah. So scouting report. I've actually been really good. All I've gotten all I have for the scouting report are club yarns. And one, I don't know if I've shown you yet, and I've had it forever. I don't think I did because this was up in my bedroom rather than down here. Also, I apologize for sounding stuffy or if there are sniffles because my allergies are acting up. So I'm part of the Mean Girls Yarn Club, and for some reason I didn't realize that the Mean Girls Yarn Club was a 6-month club, or a 6 installment club, which is fine. I'm happy with that. But yeah, I didn't realize. So this is from the last time I got it. So if I've shown this already, sorry. You guys like me anyway. And this is showing up awfully blue. This is not nearly as blue. It's really a lot more purple. Like, you can kind of get a hint in here that of a little purple, at least on my monitor. Your monitor may vary. But like on my monitor, this is showing up super, super bright blue. It's not. It's really a beautiful purple. And it's called Cradle Robber. The inspiration was the men villainous in the movie The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. So, kind of awesome. And this is in her superwash sock, which is 100% merino wool. It's a really generously sized skein. It's 560 yards. I don't remember if I've actually said who does the Mean Girls Yarn Club. It is sponsored by DizzyBlondeStudios.com. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that, if it's going to focus. There it is. DizzyBlondeStudios.com. She is also one half of a podcast, and for the life of me, I'm forgetting what it is, because for some reason, when I had my phone issues, and I don't know if I told you about the phone issues, but it resulted in me getting a new phone. Let's suffice it to say that. I'll tell you about it later. And if I've told you about it already, just remember you love me. But it wiped some of my podcasts out. So I need to find out which one. Naughty Girls. That's it. KNOTTY Girls. So I need to find it and resubscribe. But, yeah. So there is that. And the reason why I found, well, not the reason why I found it, but I ran across it today and went, oh, it's up here. I have another. I just got my latest installment from the Mean Girls Yarn Club. And she always includes these little keys. So this is Alex Forrest, Fatal Attraction, or inspired by. And she gives pattern recommendations and always has a little stitch marker. And I gotta say, the artwork. If you've not watched Fatal Attraction, I've watched it once. I've never found a need to watch it again. Because she's crazy. She should be crazy. Sorry. But and again, this is actually kind of dulling this out. This is weird. This showed the yarn, the colors in the works in progress. So it's a very, very apricot. Very, very apricot. And it's called Bunny Boiler. Again, if you haven't seen Fatal Attraction, this is a huge spoiler, but it's a movie that's been out since the 1980s, so I don't feel bad about spoiling that. And this is also in the superwash sock. So 560 yards of 100% merino. And the reason why I say also is because not all of her yarns that she's sent out have been in the sock base. The majority have been. But I remember that the Bellatrix Lestrange inspired yarn was on her DK base. So there is that. And it came with lots of goodies. So a lollipop, a homemade lollipop. I don't know. I'm going to assume that it's going to be either orange, peach, or apricot, something like that. I will be tearing into this once we're done. I didn't think that you'd want me to be sucking on a lollipop. And then also this little bag. And it's got, I'm assuming it's by Jelby, jelby.etsy.com, stitch markers and more. I have heard so much about Jelby and I haven't had anything from them. I need to get stitch markers because they're kind of awesome. But yeah. So it's a cute little bag with, oh, I don't know if you're going to be able to see. There we go. Bunnies on the inside. It's a really small bag. I mean, I guess I could fit a sock in there. Something small, definitely. But I love it. So thank you, Laura of Dizzy Blonde Studios. It's been a fun club. I believe. I think I've got one more shipment. I think. I've either got one or two more. But it's been a fun club. I haven't loved everything, but that's kind of the point about clubs, I think. It kind of expands your horizons. Especially clubs that you can't choose just what base you want. That's not all. Like I said, it's been clubtastic. I got the June Snapshots from Maine Yarn Club yarn. Now, I still can't find May. It's around here somewhere. Still can't find it though. So when I find it, I will show it to you. But June, this is the picture that inspired the yarn colors. Oh, I really hope you can see that. It's a little fuzzy on my end, but it's beautiful. It's a beautiful picture. And this is Mount Desert Island. So it's in the Bar Harbor and Acadia National Park areas. I think it's actually in Acadia. And Heather wrote a wonderful essay for it. And Maine is known as vacation land to the rest of the country. But this is a place that Mainers, those who were born and bred in Maine, not just those who live in Maine. When I was up in Maine for back in 2000, when I was working for Bean, Mainers were people who grew born and bred in Maine. But this is a place where Mainers go on vacation. It's a quiet little place. It's lovely. And I want to actually read this because this actually has a reason for the name. So I'm going to read a little bit of this. I hope Heather doesn't mind. Mount Desert Island was discovered by Samuel de Champlain in 1604. He named the island Île des Monts Déserts, or Island of Barren Mountains. In 1688, the island and surrounding areas became the property of Antoine Laumet de la Mothe, Sieur de Cadillac. This man went to found on the city of Detroit, among other adventures. Cadillac Mountain, as well as the Cadillac brand of automobiles, is named after him. In 1763, European settlers founded the first settlement and named it Eden, after an English statesman of the same name. From very early on, Eden was the playground of the wealthy families, such as Vanderbilt, Morgan, Taft, and Rockefeller. The Rockefellers donated quite a bit of the land that makes up Acadia National Park, and built an impressive network of carriage trails that one can still use today. In 1918, Eden was renamed Bar Harbor after the sandbar that one can traverse at low tide to nearby Bar Island. And all of that is for this. Heather's named the yarn The Eastern Shores of Eden. Come on. So the Eastern Shores of Eden, named after this area. And this is done in her red ash worsted, which is 100% Targhee. And if you may remember, this yarn. Oh, there we go. Really, I've been doing this for a while. You would think that I know which way the yarn goes, where the camera is. But this is also 100% Targhee, and I waxed poetic about my love for this. This, very much the same. This one's a little bit more prickly than that, but I think that's just going to wash right out. So this is lovely. Heather, I love it. Thank you. I can't wait to work with it. And that brings me to the other part of the scouting report, patterns. So last time I recorded, I showed you a pattern for socks that I am planning on eventually doing, which I think that I will probably use the remainder of the saving yarns, the poison from Hedgehog, for. But let me pull this up. Sorry, I'm looking at my iPad. I'm getting kind of bored with just one very big granny square. I've had this idea to knit this granny square blanket for many, many eons now, and I'm getting kind of bored with it. I don't know why. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There it is. So, I don't know. I don't know if this will even work because of the fact. Oops. Okay, this isn't going to take me there. Sorry, I need to get to the right page. It's one of the last things in here. I'm thinking, and I want feedback from you guys. What do you think? It seems like everybody lately is doing vivid squares. Everybody's doing them in solid colors. I might just whip up a vivid square in a variegated to see what it looks like before I actually embark on ripping out what I've done. But yeah, I'm kind of intrigued. I'm not gonna lie. Plus, I figured that I can get 2 squares or almost 2 squares out of each of these. And the ones that I would get almost 2 squares out of, I can substitute something to finish off a second square. I'm thinking about it. We'll see. We'll see. And I might need to actually supplement other yarn depending on how big it's going to be. But I don't know. What do you think? Whoops. Vivid. For those of you who don't know about the Vivid Squares, this is part of the Handmade in the UK book, Book of Patterns, which is available on Ravelry as a download. You can also get the hard copy. I forget who you get it through, but I have the book as a Ravelry download. Yeah. So, yeah, that's about it. So that brings us to what's making me happy this week. Like I said, it's been a busy couple of weeks. It's been a hard couple of days. I apologize for the fact that you're seeing my bra. Just saying. But when you're not small in that area, you have to wear a bra, and it shows. And it's kind of hot here today. I know, you guys were really wondering, right? Anyway, so one of the things that's making me happy is I found some new podcasts to listen to. Oh, there it is. I was like, where's the phone? I listen to podcasts throughout my day at work, and I listen to lots of knitting and lots of non-knitting podcasts. But I was on Ravelry and on in one of the groups on Ravelry, and somebody piped up with the, I want to pimp my podcast. We've got 5 episodes out. And so I followed the link. Or she's got 5 episodes. I don't know. Or no, 2 episodes. I don't remember, honestly, what she said. But I'm going to go in the handy phone. Go to podcasts. Not the one that I'm listening to right now. Oh no, she has 5. So I followed it and I downloaded the first episode just to see if I liked it. Next thing you know, I was listening to all 5. So that first podcast was Stitch Party. Okay, are you really going to do this? There we go. Stitch Party, the host is Elena. She is in the Pacific Northwest, and she's got 5 episodes, as you can see there. And her podcasts are about an hour-ish long. A little over, a little under sometimes. But she's got a really great voice. I like listening to her. And she's just funny. I mean, not like hilariously, oh my God. But, you know, I listen to podcasts, and a lot of times it's would I want to sit down and have a beer with them? Or tea? And I would. So Stitch Party. She's actually really, really great. Another one that I found, because, you know, when you're looking in iTunes and they're like, similar podcast. Well, this one didn't come up in similar podcast. It came up when I put in Stitch. So the Stitch sisters are Katie and Val. And come on. They have 3 episodes. And again, they're funny. They are 2 people who've known each other forever, it seems. And I really had to download it just because episode 1 was called Better Than the Phantom Menace, which really a lot of things are. Anything really is. But they're slightly nerdy, which is awesome. So, yeah. And then the third one that I added is Stitches and Yos, or Nyos. And I'm actually on episode 7 of 9. I've been listening to this pretty nonstop. So Kate and Mia host this, and they are friends. I believe Kate is in Washington State, and I think Kate's in Oregon and Mia's in Washington. One of the two. But they've known each other for a while. They're friends, and they started this podcast. I will say this. See the little red E's there? Yeah, explicit. I'm going to put out that warning that they are hilarious. They come up under comedy for some reason. Well, maybe that's how they had to resubmit. I don't know. But they come up under comedy. But they are explicit. This is not for kids to listen to. Really not. I believe episode 6, there's a lot of flying around of the F-bomb. And while I don't mind, because in real life I have a mouth like a sailor, and that is probably my favorite word in the English language. I look so sweet and innocent, don't I? Yeah. So I've been enjoying listening to those. They get off on like these really weird tangents. They are also very, pop culture, nerdy, Doctor Who, anime, Star Wars. Yeah. So Mia and Kate, they've been great to listen to. I actually was listening to them while I was trying to blow off some steam and clear my head on a 3-mile hike that I took yesterday. It really was a nature walk. We have a lot of trails that go along some of the streams in the area, and there are a lot of streams in the area. So I went down to the nature center, which is just shy of a half-mile away from here. Walked down there, and then walked down the stream one way, and then came up and turned around. And so I listened to like an episode and a half just doing that. It was kind of awesome. Their episodes can run anywhere from like an hour and a half to almost 2 hours. So, well worth it. Also, the fact that I went through all my podcasts this week at work. I spent a lot of long days in the office. Lots and lots of stress. And so I listen to podcasts. And when I'm in the office by myself late at night, I can turn up the podcasts and I can listen to all of my inappropriate podcasts. Yeah. And there are a ton that I have. So and really, when it comes to listening to podcasts, when it comes to the audio podcasts, I actually use the iPhone podcast app. It just seems like it works better for me, only in that it plays nicely with my car radio. When I plug this into the car, it recognizes that a podcast is playing rather than defaulting to iTunes or my music library. When I try to play anything in any other app, it gets very cranky. Whereas with, let me close that out. Whereas with my video podcasts, I use Downcast. I really like Downcast. I think that for video podcasts, it's a lot more reliable than iTunes. the thing with Downcast is that it's pulling the iTunes feed. So if you have any issues with the iTunes feed, like all those people who were booted off a Blip, you have to go in, you have to find them and research for them, and be done. And in some cases, it's made you lose the podcast altogether. If you can't find them, or if they haven't uploaded a new feed or anything. So, yeah. Podcasts making me happy. Hi, okay, so I forgot something. And I wanted to place it here. If you know Ellie, formerly of the Ellie's Knit Insanity podcast, she and her partner Dave have started a new podcast. They're starting everything afresh, various reasons. And so they've got the FO and Die podcast. And the Ellie's Knit Insanity shop has actually been, has also changed to FO and Die. So, I wanted to go ahead and put this out there. Ellie has had quite a few health issues, and they are trying to raise money by having a sale in the shop to send her on a retreat that will be beneficial for her health. So I am going to put the address for the shop, for the FO and Die shop, here. And the code is retreat20, and that gets you 20% off of everything that's in the shop, and that will go towards getting Ellie to that retreat and getting her healthy. And I believe that the sale goes until August 3rd. It's either August 3rd or 4th. If you look up FO and Die in, I believe they're on YouTube, and I happened to see episode 2 come up last night. Dave is actually recording that on his own because Ellie's feeling quite poorly, and he talks about that and shows off all of Ellie's work and some of his own. So yeah, definitely give that a watch. But like I said, go visit their shop. They both die there. Retreat20 is the code to use, and we'll get on with the rest of it. So yeah, I think that's about it. I'm going to try and get this uploaded and out to you guys shortly. I'm hoping I don't have to do a whole lot in the way of editing. I know that the camera froze a few times, but whatever. It's been a while since I've said this, but if you are a new viewer, thank you for giving me a try. I hope you had a good time. I hope you enjoyed yourself. My podcast can run anywhere from like 20 minutes or so, which is a record, up to, I believe my longest one was just over an hour. I try not to go longer than that because, excuse me, the file size, and it takes a while to download. So yeah, I hope you had a good time. If you are a returning viewer, you guys know how much I great big puffy heart you. Thank you for coming back. Tell people about me. And if you haven't already done so, leave me a rating and a review in iTunes. And do that for all of your podcasts. We really appreciate it. It helps people find us. As far as I know, if you look up Sheepish, I'm the only one that comes up. The only podcast that comes up. There are other podcasts with episodes that have that in the title of the specific episode. But yeah, it just makes it easier that if somebody goes on to, if somebody's just randomly searching for knitting podcasts, that they might come up with mine. Yeah. Oh, I know what I forgot to tell you. Tour de Fleece. Tour de Fleece is currently going on. I am not participating in it this year. A, because it's already started. But B, I just don't have time. I really want to. I've had my wheel for a year now. I really want to spend some time, just me and her, and just spinning. I think I know what I want to spin next, but I just need to make some time and clear off some of these bobbins. Which reminds me, I need to go look at the Acreworks bobbins because they now make them for Shocked. All right. Anyway, Thank you guys so much for joining. If you'd like to reach me during the week, I am sheepishpodcast@gmail.com. I am on Ravelry as knitgirl, KNITGIRL, so spelled conventionally. And I am on Instagram as knitgirl726. Thanks everybody for watching. I will see you next time. Keep spinning, knitting, crocheting, and stitching on. Bye everybody.